Since I picked you up from the airport, what's your impression of the surroundings?
What am I doing here?
He's joking.
He's joking.
Hello friends, good day. I'm Claire, and this is Dan, my husband. I'm going to interview him about his first impressions when he went to the Philippines. All right, are you ready for this, babe?
I'm so ready.
Okay. Since I picked you up from the airport, what's your impression of the surroundings?
What am I doing here?
He's joking.
He's joking.
What's your impression with the surroundings when you're seeing it for the first time?
Well, it wasn't just seeing it for the first time, it was hearing it and smelling it and all of that. So I got off the plane. You step off the plane and walk out into the fresh air. It was warm, even though it was only about 6 in the morning. And there was music playing, live music playing, welcoming. Yeah, just bright colors. And I guess I was just so excited. It was my first time there, first time in the Philippines, and to meet you, obviously. So riding from the airport to your hometown, of course, yeah, a lot of rice fields. I noticed the carabao pulling the plows in the fields and things like that. A lot of dogs. A lot of dogs just hanging out, lying down, sleeping on the streets in some places. In the sounds I remembered where everybody honks their horn, but not in the way they do in the United States. In the U.S.,
True.
it's you can get the heck out of the way, and in the Philippines, it's just doot 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 doot. I'm coming through. All right.
How about the food?
Of course, all the fresh beef, the fresh what? Fresh seafood, big crabs and shrimp, and of course, can't have a Filipino meal without rice. The shrimp was huge compared to what we see here. So yeah, I was really impressed with it. Everything was very, very good. And I remember you spent every last peso on that meal, I believe. So
Don't say that. Don't say that on camera.
yeah, I did not say that.
Next, babe, what can you say about the hospitality? Filipinos in general.
Oh, they're very welcoming, especially in our town, your hometown. I've never felt unsafe. People are always smiling and just very, a lot of them try. A lot of them are very, very shy. They don't want to speak English, even though I know that they know at least some English. But everybody's very nice and smile, wave. Hey, Joe. Hey, Joe. I always hear that when you're riding around.
Yeah, I would say, do you know him? You made friends here before you met me?
Sure, babe. I sent out postcards and who wants to be my friend?
Yeah. All right. Thanks, babe. Next.
Sure, babe.
About the gates and the doorways. What were your experience?
Well, I've never been part of the Lollipop Gang.
What's that?
Oh, that's from The Wizard of Oz, babe.
Oh, okay.
That's a bunch of little people, I'll say. That's very good. Yeah, so in the Philippines, obviously, architecture, hallways, doorways, things like that are not made, and transportation too, in general, is not made for someone 6 feet tall or taller. So yeah, a lot of it, I ended up having a sore neck from doing this a lot, going through doorways and riding in tricycles and things like that.
I would always tell him,
Watch your head.
Watch your head, babe.
Watch your head.
Transportation / traffic.
Okay. Well, transportation, we can continue from the last question there. Generally, from the airport, we took, you can take a bus, you can get a ride from someone, you can borrow a car, rent a car, pick up whatever, or you can take a van. And I think we've taken a bus a couple times, and the buses are much smaller, so I sit with my knees up in my face because it's very, very small. So generally we take a passenger van, and that can be a little cramped, and it's made for probably nine Americans, so you can fit 26 Filipinos in there, something like that. But we've done that now, and sometimes when we're going to or from the airport, I'll rent the whole thing. You know, like if there's more than if your girls are with something like that. So I'll just rent the whole thing, and it's not that expensive. I can't remember, but it's maybe $30-50. But it's worth it to be able to stretch out and not be so cramped. In our town, though, the main transportation is the tricycle, and I know I've gotten a couple lumps on my head from that because as I've said, I've worn tricycles. And if you're not familiar with a tricycle, it's a mini bike. That's what I call it. It's a motorcycle, maybe 150 cc's plus or minus, so not a big motorcycle. And then it's got a sidecar, covered sidecar essentially. Some of them you can have 2 seats, and then on the back there's also 2 seats. But I've seen them, I just laugh every time because we see a bunch of students and there'll be maybe 17 on top and on behind the driver and on the back and on the fender and everything else.
Filipino style.
Filipino style, only in the Philippines.
How about speaking of traffic, how about the single motorcycle just zooming?
Yeah, the death wish. That's what it's like watching I don't know what it's like. It's like watching a bird, diving for a fish or something like that. I mean, they just, I don't know, very, very dangerous. And I know probably all of your friends know people who've had kids, their own kids or cousins or whoever who have died in these crashes because they're going as fast as they can on these mopeds and motorcycles and everything else. And it's pretty crazy. The traffic laws are pretty much non-existent there. About the only thing you'll see is a speed limit sign, and that's a suggestion more than anything else.
Yeah, true. How about the people?
How about the
Are
people?
they grumpy people?
Grumpy?
Grumpy, angry? What?
Depends who you're talking about. No, very, very
What can you
smiley.
say about Filipino smile? Yeah.
What can you say about it? Oh, you see a big smile all the time, and I can tell you riding on the back of a tricycle, for instance. So I'm facing back where we're going, and people wave at me all the time. Having been there many times, and I've been there 11 times, and leaving from our house, taking a ride down to wherever we're going, the market or something. There's people that I recognize now that wave to me all the time. But there's always kids, if we're passing another vehicle and wave at the kids, and they're always quick to wave back and very smiley.
Giggling and just laughing, smiling.
No, that's me. I'm the giggler.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay,
What else you
next,
got?
babe. What can you say about the beaches
What?
that we've been to?
Beaches are very, very nice. We're lucky enough to live not terribly far from Boracay. Is that how you say it? Boracay?
Yeah.
Okay. We're maybe 6 hours away. It's not terrible, and then a short boat ride. But that's been voted one of the best beaches in the world many times, and for good reason. Absolutely stunning, beautiful, and very close to us. In fact,
How about the virgin beaches, like the undiscovered? First, we went to Gigantes group of islands.
yeah, Agante Islands. Yeah, it's incredible. It's not just the beaches, but some of the cliffs that are straight up, and there's viewing points where you climb to the top, and there's great photo opportunities, and just not a lot of people. So if you think about going to the Philippines, if you think it's going to be like going to the Caribbean or going to Hawaii or something like that, yes, there's going to be some places that'll be more heavier traveled, but there's so many places in the Philippines, so many places we haven't been. I mean, just barely scratched the surface, but there's so many places that you'll be the only ones there, or there might be a handful of other people. It's incredible.
Yeah. Next, the communication in general. Was it hard to communicate to Filipinos, or was it easy for you?
Oh, it's pretty easy. I mean, enough of them know English. They've got their native Tagalog, and then they've also got, depending on where you are, they're going to have their own dialect. And
As far as English.
As far as English, yeah, it's still pretty easy. Most people know. Maybe it's generational, I would imagine, because of your school that you taught at. I saw signs that speak English. With the younger people, I think it's usually easier. But there's a lot of older people that speak enough. It's not difficult to get by. So if you're going to go there by yourself and you don't know any any other language other than English, you're still going to be able to find a place to stay. You're going to be able to find food. You're going to be able to find a restroom. You're going to be able to do anything that you want to do with little to no trouble. Okay.
How about babe, Filipino ingenuity?
Yes. How about that? And how about one of the tricks to being in a Phil-Am relationship is to figuring out what the word really is, because they pronounce a lot of them differently. Like, how did you just pronounce
Which you
that?
found cute.
Sure. Okay. Oh, Filipino ingenuity. Yeah, they'll find a way, and it's kind of laughable in some ways, but it's really cool actually in a lot of ways, because something doesn't work and they'll rig it up so that it works.
Like for example, when we brought a karaoke machine to the beach.
Oh yeah. So the girls, it was their going away party on the beach, just 10-15 minute drive from our house. And they wanted to, there's some little huts there, and we were having a lechon, of course, and a lot of other food. And they brought a video karaoke machine down there. And somebody had a little multi-cab, so it's a van / pickup. And they put this big bulky video machine in the back. And I just laughed because it's taller, this thing is going to be destroyed by the time we get there.
Yeah.
That was my thought. And I rode in it, and we got down there, and I think 4 or more of us carried it out of there, but they found a way, and they find a way to hook it up to power, and yeah, it's just funny.
Just use ropes, babe. Let's bring this karaoke machine
Yep.
to the beach.
Twine, we'll just tie it into the truck and then untie it when we get there. And I'm amazed going over this rocky road that
Yes.
it worked. But yeah, there's always like that. I mean, it's a very different world. It's still third world, and I don't feel good about saying that, but it is. But it's so easy to adapt. It's just a simple life, and that's one of the things that I like about it most, is that here we worry about the dumbest little things here in America. We have an easy life in a lot of ways, even though life is not easy anywhere. We work very hard. I work way more hours than I should and have for a decade. But go over there, and I just love to relax, and you just don't have to worry about the same day-to-day things. There are the things you worry about are real world things. A lot of the people have to worry about how are they going to get their food. But I don't even feel that they worry about that. To me, it's, we go there and we're very generous, especially, people don't tip over there. Well, we go to our select restaurants, and I'm very generous with the tips, because to me that matters here. It's the same thing, but there a tip means so much more. The tip that I give might feed a family for days.
Yeah, if I'm a waitress in the Philippines, I would love him to be my customer because he tips a lot. Yeah, that's generous. It's an American culture, right?
Yeah,
Isn't
and
it?
she wants me to tip in our own kitchen now too.
Yeah, I have a jar there.
There's a tip jar.
Put your tip here.
Yeah, exactly. It's still empty though. What else?
Thank you, babe.
That's it?
That's all I have in my list.
Okay.
Unless you want to talk about other things also.
No, that's enough. These handcuffs that are on my ankle are getting a little bit tight
He
right
doesn't
now.
have handcuffs.
I think he does. Thanks for watching.
Thank you, friends, for watching till the end. Please don't forget to subscribe, because we pledge to donate proceeds of this channel to Filipino families.